Welcome back, everybody. Ladies and gentlemans, ladies with gentle hands, old people with pension plans, those who graduated with less exams. The NHL season has finally come, and we are here to talk about the Metropolitan Division. Not the greatest division in the league, but you know what? There's some fucking good teams here, and there's some teams that are just the most unpredictable franchises in the entire NHL. And for that matter, we're going to start off with one of the better of the teams in this division, the Carolina Hurricanes. So, the Carolina Hurricanes are a team where you don't quite know what you're going to get from them come playoff time. Because obviously, as we know, in the regular season, and specifically at home, they're an absolute wagon. The team's unbelievable. Look at their roster. They just picked up Nikolai Ehlers, Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, still growing, still developing, still gonna become a great winger in this league. Obviously, Shevchenkov, Stankoven, Blake, the youngin. That Blake kid could score the puck. That's a good long-term piece that they should definitely sign up because he ain't his contract, that entry level, that shit's almost done. So I would fix that quickly if I was the Carolina Hurricanes. Martin Hook, obviously, you have a veteran like Stahl. You got Taylor Hall on the fourth line. This team, like, okay, there's not much to say about them. They're good. We know they're going to be good. They're going to compete. They're going to do well in the regular season. They're going to be an absolute wagon at home. It's just what happens come playoff time is what really matters. This team cannot find a way to make it to the Stanley Cup final if their life depended on it. It's just like how many times have you made it to the conference final but and done fuck all? How many times has it happened now? And I don't want to hear, oh, we got Florida this so many times. Like, dude, figure it out, bro. Figure it out. Rod Brendamore, like, it, people say, oh, sack Brendamore, sack Rod because they can't get over the hump. Is it his fault though? Like, I mean, he's not the one on the ice. That he won a Stanley Cup, all right? So I can guarantee you he ain't the problem. It's just when it comes down to crunch time and when you're playing the Florida Panthers in the conference finals, you just can't figure it out. And not only do you not figure it out, you get swept. You get fucking swept. Last year they had a chance. They want to get dude. When they play Florida, they have no chance. They fold like a cheap 10. It's unbelievable to me. For the amount of talent that this team has, it's crazy to me that they have not seen a single fucking Stanley Cup final. But they're going to do fine. They're going to make playoffs and they're going to be top of their division like they are always. Moving on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like I said before, this division is just unpredictable. Some of these teams do so well. They have long stretches where they perform very well, and then there's stretches where it's just a disaster. And this is another very good home team, but this is also a very horrendous on the road team. Sometimes this team doesn't show up when they're on the road, but at home they do well, which is strange because their team is not the best in the league. But they got some pieces where you're going to win some games. Obviously, Fantilli is the leader of this group. He is probably the best player on this team. And then you got their defense. You got Zach Werenski, who is an absolute stud. And come playoff, sorry, not come playoff time, come Olympic time when us Canadians have to go against the Americans, he is one of the most terrifying defensive players to go up against. Him and Slavin on Carolina, which I didn't really mention their defense, by the way. But I mean, yeah, forgot to mention the goaltending. Anderson, can he stay healthy? He's a great goaltender, but can he stay healthy is the real question. Jacob Slavin and Zach Werenski on the blue line for the Americans come Olympic time, that's terrifying. That is a fantastic defensive pairing. That's like Devon Taves and Cal McCarr. That is just absolute magic. So we'll see what the Blue Jackets do. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. They don't really have the team to do so. And even if they do make playoffs, they're not going to get home ice advantage, which is going to be a horrendous thing for them because they really play well at home in Columbus. They really do. They're a fun team to watch at times, though. Like I said, they're really good at home, but like when they go on the road, bro, they just fucking they don't show up. It's just how it is, and they're just not there yet. They're not there yet. They need much more pieces to become a serious contender, a serious team to be talked about. They're definitely nowhere near the upper echelon of contenders in this NHL. So I don't have them making playoffs. I mean, they got a bunch of weapons that could do well. They're going to have stretches where they're very good, and they're going to have stretches where they're very bad. This is what I'm saying about this division. There's so many up and down teams where you just don't know what to get. You don't know what you're going to get from them. And I think that the Columbus Blue Jackets are one of those teams I don't see them making the playoffs. Moving on to a playoff team. Oh God, what's going on here? The fuck? The New Jersey Devils. They just signed another Hughes brother, Luke. That Jack Hughes contract, if he stays healthy, is gonna look very nice in a couple years' time. But can Jack Hughes stay healthy is a real question. I'm not sure. I hope he does. I respect him as a hockey player. I love watching him play. I think he's fantastic. He's a smaller guy, and you really saw it when in the Four Nations, he did fuck all. He did fuck all. He didn't do anything. What Jack Hughes contributed to the American offense in the Four Nations was absolutely zero. It was nothing. I didn't notice him, but that's what you get when you really come to terms with just hard nosed hockey, straight up hockey, tight defensive physical hockey. Jack Hughes was a ghost. So I know he's in his year four, but he still has a lot to learn, especially being a smaller guy. It's kind of hard to adapt to when shit gets serious. So we'll see about Jack Hughes. Can he stay healthy? I hope so. But this team's a wagon. This team's making playoffs 100%. Hughes, Bratt, Timo Meyer, Nico Hischier, Mercer, they're stacked. They picked up Connor Brown from the Oilers. And you want to talk about a playoff performer? 2 years ago in the Cup final, when the Oilers lost in seven to the Panthers, who are currently winning 3-2 over the Chicago Blackhawks right now in opening night of the NHL. Connor Brown, that guy showed up in the playoffs, man. He scored some crucial goals for the Edmonton Oilers in their first run to the Cup final last year. And I know not last year, 2 years ago, but last year he was kind of off a bit. That definitely didn't have the playoffs he did 2 years ago. But then again, you have him on the third line. You have depth there. This team has depth. I think they have enough to definitely make playoffs. Are they going to win the cup? I don't think so, but I mean they have enough to get there. And here's the thing with the NHL, and it's kind of like most sports, but I like to just think of hockey separately from NFL, baseball, football, or sorry, basketball. There's teams where once you're in, anything could happen. I feel like in the NBA it's different. I feel like in the NFL it's different. In hockey, you have no idea who's gonna win. Look at St. Louis in 2019. Nobody had them winning the cup. Look what they did. They were dead last in the new year, and they ended up winning the Stanley Cup. Did Chicago just score? No. The New Jersey Devils are gonna be there, and I really like their goaltending core. And there's another question mark here. Could Markstrom stay healthy? What a fantastic goalie he is. And Jake Allen as a backup is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They have a great 1-2 punch in their goaltending core. This team is, I would not be worried if I was a Devils fan by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're going to be in the playoffs 100%. And once you make the playoffs, who knows what happens from there. If you get hot, you get hot. And you could run that wave until it dies. And then moving on here, I don't know what's going on, but New York Rangers, I don't really I'm not a big believer in the New York Rangers. Original six franchise hasn't won a cup in over 20 years. Um, I don't really know what to think of them. Specifically, Mika Zibanejad, that's one guy who I always kind of attack when it comes to talk about the New York Rangers. He is very talented, very skilled, can score goals, but when it comes down to when it matters most, I don't notice Mika Zibanejad in any stretch. I, I I don't know what it is, and I don't get me wrong. Like I've played sports my entire life. Like I know when there's guys who can't handle pressure. I think Mika Zibanejad is one of those guys who just does not know what to do when shit gets serious. And it's been proven now. He's 32. He's been in the league forever. He makes almost $9 million a year, and he does kind of fuck all when they need him most. But don't get me wrong, though, he is so talented. But in the same time, he's just kind of just so MIA. The Breadman, Artemi Panarin, he's a dog. Vincent Trocheck, Alexis Lafreniere. This team's weird to me. They're weird. I don't really know what to think of the New York Rangers. Adam Fox. Here's the thing too. Igor Shesterkin. He was the best goalie 2 years ago. Signs that contract, and they don't make playoffs. This guy was letting in goals left, right, and center. I don't know what was happening with Igor. Then there's guys like Matt Rempe. Like he's not a good hockey player. He's a big body on the D, but I just like this team's weird to me. I think they're middle of the pack in this division. They definitely could force a wild card for sure because you have the likes of Philly and Columbus in your division. But I don't think this team is good. I really don't think they're good. And that's not a knock on them. I'm not trying to shit on the fucking Rangers, but like I just don't think they have enough to win a cup. They just don't. But then again, once you're in, you're in. But I mean, we saw enough of this team in the past couple years. They didn't even make playoffs last year, so that says enough. You got JT Miller, who's your new captain. How you like that, Vancouver fans? Is JT Miller captain worthy? Who else are you gonna name captain on this team though? That's what I'm saying. It ain't gonna be Zibanejad. There's no guy on this team who's a leader. They're not the Rangers when they were what they were when Mark Messier was leading your team. They're just not that team anymore. But you know what? They're here. They're in the league, and they're gonna compete still. And we'll see. I personally don't think they make playoffs, but we'll see. Moving on to another fucking team who I rather watch paint dry than watch play. The New York Islanders. Another team who is just slow and boring. They're like Boston. They're just slow and boring. I don't know what to think of this team. Like they're just another they're so boring to watch. They somehow always slither into the playoffs and just lose. You have low-key weapons. Like Matt Barzal obviously is a dog. Like he's fantastic. Kyle Palmieri, like he scores crucial goals when they need goal scoring. And you got Bo Horvat, number one center on the team. Anders Lee on the left wing. This team's weird to me as well. They remind me of they're very 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 similar to the Rangers, and it's a coincidence that they're separated by the Hudson River. Like I just think they're I think they're the same team. I don't really see much coming out of this team here. I personally think they somehow figure out a way to slither into the wild card spot, but in the same breath, I don't see them going fucking anywhere to win a Stanley Cup. Ilya Sorokin, I really like him as a goaltender. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great goalie. And Cam Reddish, I mean, like they have a decent goaltending core. They do. They're like the Devils. They have a good 1-2 punch to get you through the season to force a wild card. There ain't gonna be top three, so we'll see what happens with the New York Islanders. But they're another team where it's just weird and just a boring team to watch. And then moving on to another boring team to watch, which is why I'm saying this division is just weird. The Pittsburgh Penguins, led by Kyle Dubas, who's really led by Sid the Kid Crosby. This team is a disaster. This team sucks, dude. Straight up, this team sucks. I respect Sidney Crosby for wanting to be a Penguin for life. He's doing everything he can to just make this team better. But the thing is, their management is so piss poor that it's so hard for Sidney Crosby to like look back and be like, "Fuck, man, I'm trying to do what I can here." And don't get me wrong though, like it doesn't matter if the Penguins don't win a Stanley Cup this year. They got three with Sid and Gino. They're in a position now where they're definitely rebuilding. I don't even want to say that Crosby is like, listen, yeah, Crosby's on the back nine of his career, you could say. But Sidney Crosby is a different breed of a human being. This guy's gonna play till he's fucking 45 and still put up over 90 points a season. It's just how it is. And then you got Gino. Man, I'm upset. If Genny Malkin announced that he's gonna retire after this year, that's horrendous. That's horrendous. That's sad news. As a hockey fan, man, watching Gino throughout my entire life, what a goal scorer. He's one of my favorite players of all time. This guy was fucking unbelievable. It sucks to see. It really sucks to see. And that's a clear indicator that they're not going to go fucking anywhere. Because you're going to lose fucking Gino. All you got is Crosby. Like, you look up and down this lineup, you're going to really tell me that this team's going to make playoffs? No, they're not. They're not going to make playoffs. They're just rebuilding. And it's unfortunate because Sidney Crosby deserves better. Sidney Crosby deserves better. I know he's a stubborn guy when it comes to this type of stuff, but man, once that 1 of 2 years is over, go play with Nathan McKinnon. Go somewhere else. Go. I want to see Sidney Crosby in the playoffs so badly, but he's on Pittsburgh where they have no chance of going anywhere. They're not going to make playoffs. I'm sorry, but fuck, man, I love Crosby so much. It's just unfortunate under the circumstances that Kyle Dubas has put them under. Getting rid of Jake Gensel. Are you crazy? Anyways. I hope Gino has a legendary season and just walks off into the sunset and goes back to Russia and no one ever hears of him again. He's got his cups. This guy is an absolute legend. But Sid the Kid, fuck man, I really hope he goes to a team where we could see him back in the playoffs. This team's not making playoffs. Moving on to another legendary player, one of my favorite players also of all time, Alexander Ovechkin, man. God damn. Like I said earlier, I don't think that the Washington Capitals will ever win a Stanley Cup again in my lifetime. But they got one. They got one, and that was under Ovi. And that team, don't get me wrong, was a wagon. Backstrom, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on, man. But Alexander Ovechkin is in his final year of his contract. Is he going to retire? He got the goal record. He has his Stanley Cup. But this team is definitely better than Pittsburgh. This team is definitely better than Columbus. Look what they did last year. Look what they did. This team was a wagon last year. They have a low-key good team. This team's making playoffs. So we'll definitely see Ovechkin in the playoffs once again, which I'm very happy about. I don't think they're going to win the Stanley Cup by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, once you're in, you're in. Once you're in, you're in. You still got Tom Wilson. You still got Dylan Strome, who's a fucking beast. You still got Ovi, who's still scoring at a rate where it's almost unbelievable to think about. Anthony Beauvillier, you got Pierre-Luc Dubois, who showed some good signs coming out of Winnipeg when he signed with the Capitals. He still could compete, man. They're still good. This team's still good. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna win the cup. It's gonna be hard, dude. It's gonna be hard, but we'll see. Carlson, obviously, Van Riemsdyk, Sandin too. This team's good, dude. This team's good. They're not a horrendous team, but we'll see. I'm excited to see Ovechkin back in the playoffs one more time. One time for the one time, if you will. And then moving on to the last team in this fucking division, who I also just have no idea what to think of. The most inconsistent team up there with the Columbus Blue Jackets in the entire NHL is the Philadelphia Flyers. Off rip, they're not making playoffs. I know you signed Rick Tocchet. Florida just beat Chicago to start off the season. 3-2 final. I really like Michkov. I think Michkov's a great hockey player. I think he has a lot of potential moving forward. And you pick up Trevor Zegras. That's so random. That's so random. If you're Trevor Zegras, you're making 5 M's. You're kind of thinking like, well, what the fuck is he thinking? Did he go for a bag? I'm not really sure what Trevor Zegras is really doing. Does he want to win a cup or does he just want money? I don't really know. You're not going to win a cup in Philly, that's for damn sure. We'll see what they look like in fucking 5 years' time, but like, my God, dude, come on. One player on this team, though, who I'm a big fan of is Travis Konechny. What a fantastic hockey player he is. That is he's the definition of a playoff performer. I know they don't compete in playoffs because they stink, but the way he plays the game, his physicality, his ability to score goals in the same time is very, very, very convincing that you have something going here. Like you do. You got Zegras, who's very, very talented. Michkov's up and coming. Couturier obviously does Couturier things. He's still a great player. Travis Konechny. But then you got their goaltending, which is just concerning. Like, what are you gonna expect from this? Who's gonna play the road splits? Who's gonna play on the road? Who's gonna play at home? Is it gonna be one guy gets blown out one night, next guy goes in? It's gonna be tough for them to compete in this division. I know it's not the greatest division, but like, it's gonna be hard to even compete in general. They're not a good hockey team. I don't think they make the playoffs, but I mean, that's the Metro Division preview. Thank you for watching. Have a great, great evening. All the best.